Hello and welcome to another episode here on The Richter Show. If this is your first time following me or the first time seeing me, I actually am considered a world traveler. I do reviews on hotels, on airlines, on countries, and my personal opinion on some restaurants and entertainment in every country that I go to. So without further ado, let's dive right into it though. Now, just how the title reads, it's actually what I'm going to be talking about. This is specifically in Indonesia, based on my experience and based on the airlines that I took and what I would think of each one of them. So I want to start off by the worst to the best. Now, I was able to take 3 out of these 4 airlines that I'm going to mention, and I'm going to explain in a second why one of them I did not take, but I'm going to be able to give you an idea of what to expect and more or less prices and budgeting on it. And of course, I got some opinions from the locals, so that way it backs up a little bit my theory or my explanation on each of these airlines. So let's start off with airline number 1, Lion Air. Lion Air is what's considered the cheapest airline in Indonesia to use. And every person that I spoke to, every local told me, do not take Lion Air. I'm not going to be able to give my opinion on it because what I did was take other people's opinion to not take Lion Air. So with that information coming straight from the locals, I guess do not take Lion Air. I spoke to some Americans and they say that it's kind of like flying Spirit in the United States of America. It's not to bash on Spirit, I'm just giving you the facts. Or it might even be worse than that. So I avoided using Lion Air at all costs. You will probably see that when you're looking to travel within Indonesia, you're gonna see that they are the cheapest. And just because they're the cheapest doesn't mean they're the greatest. Now, if you want to take it, go ahead, save yourself money. But really, is it worth saving money over time? I'll let you be the judge of that. Now, let's go with number 2. Batik Air. This airline I did take. I did fly Batik Air. It felt like flying, if I compare it to one of the ones in the United States, since I'm based in the United States, it's like flying basically Frontier. It was on the lower end. The seats felt kind of straight and kind of hard. There was no entertainment on there. There was no food served during my flights when I was taking it. There is things that you can purchase. Once again, everything is always overpriced. I would probably just go ahead and take a snack or prior before using that. Either way, I was taking these flights for like an hour or 2 tops. But I do have to mention that the plane was late. The plane was late, and I heard that this is a very common thing and a popular thing that happens a lot with this airline, to prepare to be on a flight that you're gonna be delayed 100%. It happened every time I used the airline while I was in Indonesia. Would I recommend this airline? If you want to save money, I guess, but let's move on to number 3. Citilink Airlines. I rate this at number 3. I would still compare it to a kind of Frontier. It kind of goes hand in hand with Batik Air. It was delayed by a lot as well. The check-in process, it's not easy in the sense that it's easier if you have a phone. For everything, you need to have a phone because you need a QR code. If you can try to get your passes prior, it'll save you a little bit of time on the check-in. The process is slow. Check-in is slow, but if you have the app, which I recommend you get the app, you'll be able to do it much faster and you'll save yourself a little bit of time. But either way, the plane's gonna be late. In my experience, the seats inside were basically rigid, straight. There was no entertainment, there was no food, but the price was a little bit more expensive than Batik Air, which is the one that I rated before, and I didn't see too much of a comfort difference. It was basically the same for me. Then again, I did select on every flight that I took the exit seats because I knew that when I saw the price, these seats were probably going to be uncomfortable, and so I needed that extra leg room, and it just felt the same. Really, it didn't make much of a difference. If you want to take this airline, I mean, your options are limited, but with that said, I mean, I'll try to avoid it if I could. Let's move on to option number 4. This is Garuda Indonesia Airlines. This is probably the most expensive one. I did take it. I did notice a difference in flying this airline. The seats were a little more comfortable. There was entertainment on this one. There was little flat screen TVs, and I was able to actually watch some movies, even though the flight was about 2.5 hours or so. The one that I took. I did not know that it was the most expensive one. I was just picking airlines at random because I wanted to try different airlines, and I tried to get people's opinion, but everybody that I spoke to that is native in Indonesia said that that was the most expensive airline. But I can see that you kind of get what you pay for, which in this case is a little bit of a good thing. I'll try to use Garuda Indonesia more frequently if I could. Sometimes I'd rather have a little bit of more comfort. Unfortunately, my flight was also delayed. It seems to be a common thing there in Indonesia that the flights are delayed. Or maybe I was just unlucky that every time I got on the plane it was delayed and late. It was better. They did serve us little snacks on this flight, maybe because it was a longer flight, probably, or it's just the way that that airline operates. When I say it's expensive, I don't necessarily mean that it's extremely overpriced. I'm just comparing it to the other airline there in Indonesia. So since I'm based in the US, I make American dollars. For me, the flights were cheap, even though that was the most expensive one, and it's affordable for me. Because you know, the exchange rate between the US dollar and the Indonesian rupee makes a big difference. So would I take this airline? Yes, I prefer to take this airline. Would I recommend this airline? Yes, out of the ones that I took, it's probably the best one. So I would recommend that one to take if you're in Indonesia. You have to download the apps if you want to make the process a little bit faster, a little bit easier. It does get confusing at the airport, and I don't know why they make it so difficult, but in a way, almost everybody nowadays has a phone, so download the app and get your tickets to speed up the process a little bit. It'll make your life a little bit faster. So with that said, those are the 4 airlines that I was going to review and talk about on this video. Hope you like it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section and I will answer them as soon as possible. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more airline reviews like these here only on The Richter Show. See you on the next airline review.
Shout out to the host, the Richter. This the Richter Show, the Richter Show.